You see what I'm saying? You wearing an $80,000 chain. It's real thugs in the hood. They get you for that. Easy. And back in the day, the thugs would rob you and be in the club with you like, what up, son? They wouldn't even run. You see what I'm saying? Try getting this back, son. Yo, how does it look on me, son? Because real gangsters do real things. So for all you young MCs out there, understand the words come out your mouth are vessels of thought. And they have magnetic power to them. So if every single word that comes out of your mouth is, I'm a gangster, I'm a thug, come test me. 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 And you drawing it back to you, and real gangsters will come test you. And you don't want that. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be careful of what comes out of your mouth.
Yo, Midnight. Yo, we got him, yo. Yo, we got him. Yeah, man. Just pull the rope on the guillotine, Midnight. Oh, man. Let's take it right now, man.
So the darkness, what
do it up right now.
Yo, we still here.
Council with etheric elders in the waters of noon. Reclined on the sun with my foot on the moon. Watching goddess on earth act like witches on brooms. Sipping milk and the honeydew and triple black boom. Touchdown, not subordinate but God sent. I'm the red and blue of Superman and Clark Kent. From beyond the sun to earth, Moabite marksman. Tongue double-edged scimitar, stay sharpened. Flag in the earth first, set up the post. Sea is the land, now the flag's in the boat. Back on the land, follow tears, the trail never ends. I'll be on inquisitionists, murdered my friends. Stole our culture, sell it to us as trends. Negro, blacks and colors, stay out the culture blend. Touch your hair, tell you the style they liking. But jack your energy, hair on their neck back spiking. Off the heat of the devil, walking rebel. Why run when police come? Swinging his billy club, drunk off Seagrams. Invisible candle magic, suspect they see none. Pull torts, have them arrested for treason and under. I want bond numbers, put a lien on a straw man that's breaching his oath. Call Orishas, tell all the coon go for his throat. Pickaxe a cow tongue on parchment paper. Sprinkle clothes, put a hex on an MC, drought your flows. Take the water from your floor like doctors draining knees. Cause you use ankle weights, bones soft like cheese. Fart stink niggas eating things, that's deceased. More rotten than the plan, the clan's plotting on me. Why? Knowledge as a money has me a millionaire. Giving knowledge away like I don't care. Christians tell me find Jesus before judgment comes. He's on the corner selling crack and killing his sons. Zombie brainwashed blacks are still blaming the guns. Point out Catholic priests, man, I'm blaming the nuns. Who killed Tate and Toba Chung? I'm blaming the streets. Who killed Prophet Drew Ali? I'm blaming a breach. Same for General Khalid and El Hajj Malik. Or killed cause nationality was in their speech. Things to make you go and thought to art. Happy-go-lucky rappers fall past naught. In infinite debts, might as well hold your breath. And let's see how far this rabbit hole goes to the left. I broke out the chamber, Allah's come in danger. I self-law, a master coming with my angels. Iron Sheik, El Immaculate without the manger. Alpha Hexin, Rat Boule strangers. Broke out the chamber, Allah's come in danger. I self-law, a master coming with my angels. Iron Sheik, El Immaculate without the manger. Alpha Hexin, Rat Boule strangers. With cell phones, big brother is closer than steps. Most flush less, but inhale chem streams from jets. Even this god used to binge drink. Schlitz, not Becks, never braids, but waves and cameos without the step. No dye, never had slits in the brows of the eye. I got conscious, no arrogance or acting obnoxious. 144,000, I'm saying less than that. With all these zombies with big ass shades and big ass hats. Dressing like Lil Wayne, man, just baggy as slacks. Finger a dyke in the shotgun, then crabby a gats. She goes down for prostitution and finding grand. You for possession and for not washing your hands. It's still love, truth, peace, but put down the peace. Wow, we don't need them when we got justice and freedom. Your mind's a mess, trust me, I think you're possessed. Let me unhex you with a mudra of Baphomet, and that won't work unless you know being supreme. No chest has the Solomon crest. Always frontin' warm in the Averex. My lowest form of thought is your apex. Iron Sheik X from the Mosque of Malcolm. Devil see me and get white without the powder talcum. Raise my sword, keep swinging, no meaning. flow deep, call me aquamarine men, raised in the lost city of Atlantis. When I speak as pictures, I'm painting on your mental canvas. I broke out the chamber, Allah's come in danger. I self-law, a master coming with my angels. Iron Sheik, El Immaculate without the manger. Alpha Hexin, Rat Boule strangers. I broke out the chamber, Allah's come in danger. I self-law, a master coming with my angels. Iron Sheik, El Immaculate without the manger. Alpha Hexin, Rat Boule strangers.
Young offender on the grid. I've been doing a bit since a little kid. Then it was the adult side. I lose my respect if I let it slide. Then it slid. I kept my flow hid, and the words don't skid. With respect to the house, here's a piece on me. If you wanna leave calmly, while they're busy smoking, I'm easy roping with the hot blonde wide open. It jaws, wasn't joking. Pop your lids unless you really wanna live. Stop the fibs with one less ribs. Engineering anonymous. Is it preposterous? They could doctor us. Is it ancient chemist or is it just genetic? All I get is aesthetic. 2 million years of history, just forget it. If you let it, don't you dare ruin your credit as I stare at your social club, pinky swear. A supreme being, intervene. It was something green. I didn't know how to adjust the screen. Second look, it was just as clean. Dust a fiend with some muscle cream. Let her know this is not a dream. My flow is the stream to the most pristine. You never seen this like being.
The rhyme pattern and design so intricate. You'll never see the sign, so here's a kick. But don't F around with mine or the syndicate. You straight stay in line or the stink again. Like you on a landmine in a sinking pit. It's not just your music, only stink like shit. We see right through you phony, you counterfeit. Pass a piece of Fronto, wanna roll a split. Where I'm from in Toronto, all we know is flip. Firm grip on the grip, gotta hold his hip. All they know is download and loading clips. I just rep the G code, we ain't new to this. Don't let me get in beast mode, metamorphosis. Yo, we got the street zone, no forcefulness. And all the Easter's on, call me Morpheus. Find our way home, more free us. No scissors and comb, nagas niggas. Blood and bone, muscle tissue, form fetus. And we never on our own, Allah feeds us.
I keep it roping, I'm eloping. Well spoken, here's a token. Genuine, no joking. And if I pause, my mind is in motion. Who's up next for the smoking while I'm bearing arms? I'm steady toting a brain load of weaponry, ready to expose it.
Young offender on the grid. I've been doing a bit since a little kid. Then it was the adult side. I lose my respect if I let it slide. Then it slid. I kept my flow hid, and the words don't skid. With respect to the house, here's a piece on me. If you wanna leave calmly, while they're busy smoking, I'm easy roping with the hot blonde wide open. It jaws, wasn't joking. Pop your lids unless you really wanna live. Stop the fibs with one less ribs. Engineering anonymous. Is it preposterous? They could doctor us. Is it ancient chemist or is it just genetic? All I get is aesthetic. 2 million years of history, just forget it. If you let it, don't you dare ruin your credit as I stare at your social club, pinky swear. A supreme being, intervene. It was something green. I didn't know how to adjust the screen. Second look, it was just as clean. Dust a fiend with some muscle cream. Let her know this is not a dream. My flow is the stream to the most pristine. You never seen this like being.
The rhyme pattern and design so intricate. You'll never see the sign, so here's a kick. But don't F around with mine or the syndicate. You straight stay in line or the stink again. Like you on a landmine in a sinking pit. It's not just your music, only stink like shit. We see right through you phony, you counterfeit. Pass a piece of Fronto, wanna roll a split. Where I'm from in Toronto, all we know is flip. Firm grip on the grip, gotta hold his hip. All they know is download and loading clips. I just rep the G code, we resourcefulness. And all the ether zone call me Morpheus. Found our way home, more free us. No scissors and comb, nagas need us. Blood and bone, muscle tissue, form feed us. And we never on our own, Allah feeds us.
I keep it roping, I'm eloping. Well spoken, here's a token. Genuine, no joking. And if I pause, my mind is in motion. Who's up next for the smoking while I'm bearing arms? I'm steady toting a brain load of weaponry, ready to expose it. The stories of all lies, I got the man secure to host this. Many wanna boast it and run game and then revoke it. You better off dead. The majority gets voted. I post playing, giving you a dosage. The punchline is potent, knocking niggas out like a close fist. Coming from the rats and the roaches. Many want to say they the one who came the closest to royalty and fame, and as the president approaches, acknowledge what my name is and claim an island off the coast. Yes, my chronology is most best. Floating like a lotus, I'm heavy in the streets. Take notice, I've arrived. There's a chance for me to blow this.
Northgate, H2O flow, Chic, Canaanland, Moorish, when these fall, Shalom Davis, salute, hot house, check it, they say they wanna learn, they only debate, referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound the grace, study nationality before you question my estate, I'm not a minority, why you so late, majority rules, here comes the test, fact, that's my hand in the form of a V on the chest, that's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest, major forever, infinite mindset, major from birth, that's a seed in process, I'm a more that is easy to digest, competent, never tyrannous, that is my land, never vacant, sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican, Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more, we feel please more, Northgate, H2O flow, Chic, Canaanland, Moorish, when these fall, Shalom Davis, salute, hot house, check it, they say they wanna learn, they only debate, referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound the grace, study nationality before you question my estate, I'm not a minority, why you so late, majority rules, here comes the test, fact, that's my hand in the form of a V on the chest, that's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest, major forever, infinite mindset, major from birth, that's a seed in process, I'm a more that is easy to digest, competent, never tyrannous, that is my land, never vacant, sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican, Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more, we feel please more, following the apostles we should read more, I see the unseen more, we more, that's a fact, Canaanland.
They say they wanna learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling haram when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning. Samson 2 caterpillars, got him cocooning. As the full moon hung, spiral energy moving. Up through the crown chakra, energy shooting. And told me upload classes before live YouTubing. 16,000 subscribers, 20% consuming. 80% troll pretending to be tuned in.
Northgate, H2O flow, Chic, Canaanland, Moorish, when these fall, Shalom Davis, salute, hot house, check it. They say they wanna learn, they only debate. Referencing the truth, trust me, they only found the grace. Study nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test. Fact, that's my hand in the form of a V on the chest. That's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major from birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a more that is easy to digest. Competent, never terrenilious. That is my land, never faking. Sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more. We feel please more. Following the apostle, we should read more. I see the unseen more. We more. That's a fact. Canaanland.
They say they want to learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling haram when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning. Samson 2 caterpillars, got him cocooning. As the full moon hung, spiral energy moving. Up through the crown chakra, energy shooting. And told me upload classes before live YouTubing. 16,000 subscribers, 20% consuming. 80% troll pretending to be tuned in. Comment on every video, pushing the thumbs down. We'll push the link when we live just like a clown. Pouring in the incompetence, always debating. Dissing Drew Ali but won't give their location. His image on the black banner, that's placation. Just get him out of here, Yusuf yells in frustration. We know they're playing games, we're not berating. Calling 911, scimitars penetrating. In defense of prophets and mothers abused. And newly awakened Moors, amused and confused.
Islam wars. We were gonna start, but we might as well do it.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gate Cemetery, February the 4th day. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence alarm makes civil literal lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gate Cemetery, February the 4th day. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence alarm makes civil literal lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets told me upright, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Sorbet, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. Had no but Ali in plain sight. But people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up. Stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for light, the book of Genesis. Astral plane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life, finishing.
Moorish Omar, key man or oracle. Using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical. Lost and metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic. Facts slap a dirty more or a Drew Ali critic. Calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved. Or cut like a close shave. Drowned in my brain waves, squashed by heat waves. Activating Kundalini. Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini. Selassie I in exile. child, reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real, all I see is false evidence. VAR feminists, stomped on by elephants, more like go prejudice but want Moorish benefits. When you feel the pull, magnetic resonance, apis horns of the sacred book, all maleficent. Great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence, ace all the testaments. Tap into remembrance, never to forget again. Use energy right, not put spell effects on men. Wandering the earth plane with no veil of shades, keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades, not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets. Holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday. War ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Whoa. What would the world look like without black people?
Whoa. That's a hard question.
Oh, wow.
Without black people.
Well, first of all, I wouldn't be here.
I mean, we wouldn't have a president.
It would look all white.
The world would look like Hollywood, I think.
Be kind of bland, kind of vanilla.
Music, as you know, would not exist.
I don't know what my soul would be like without Brad McKnight.
There would be no hip hop. Oh crap, that would suck. That would suck a lot because I love hip hop.
Listen, if people love black people as much as they love black culture, everything will be fine. Everyone loves black culture.
Yeah,
they love black culture, but when it
Come
comes to black people, they're kind of let me grab my kid, let me touch my purse a little tighter.
Growing up, there was a white kid who told me that he didn't want to play with me because my skin was dirty. And I came home and I told my mom, Mom, wash my skin so I could play with all the other kids.
I can tell you how many times I've been asked, deliver this, wheel this around, that I'm a delivery person. I am, the patient transfer person. I'm not a medical student who's there to sort of care for patients.
We've been put inside of this box that we can only be ignorant, that we can only come from single parent home, that we can only participate in games.
The truth is that being black in America is like walking through the store and people are scared of you or
being stopped by law enforcement for no real good reason.
When we have dreadlocks or braids.
If a black guy has a hoodie on,
they see thug no matter what. So
we have a 14-year-old, and we've had to have some really difficult conversations with him.
I think it was the first time I got my driver's license, right? You're taught, your mom will sit you down and tell you, look,
if a police officer stops you, this is what you're supposed to say.
Don't reach into your glove compartment to try and get your license or your registration because, if they think you have a weapon, you can get shot.
Because at the end of the day, I really don't care. I just want you to come home to me, right?
I do work with a lot of young black men. These young men are beautiful in every sense of the way. I think when I work with them, it's emotional because the way that I experience them is completely different than the way that people portray them.
As hard as it is to have
what happened to? Because I think I missed something. What happened to what would the world look like without black people? Now we know as Moors, because we study, we know they're Negro, black, colored, stateless people, so they don't know what they're talking about, really. The other people in there, though, one of the Asians in there said, well, she wouldn't have a soul if it wasn't for Brian McKnight. Somebody from another nation. Did they go up there talking about black guys are, you know, some threatening whatever? No, they embraced it, right? They absolutely embraced it. That there's something different about these people. All the sisters already know Brian McKnight and all that stuff. They already know what's up. Right? Something about us is different. And other people see that, but they don't see it when they do black. So when she's bringing up Brian McKnight, she didn't bring up black guy. She brought up a singer. She doesn't present a black guy. This black guy is what my soul is. What he did is what connected to her soul. What he was being is what connected to her soul. Not that he's a black guy. Those ones slapped his forehead and said, oh, well, hold on a second. There'll be no hip hop if there was no black people. That's crazy. Again, they're not talking about black guys. They're talking about the essence of a people and what their presentation is on the planet to everybody else. Right? Everybody rates Larry Bird and all that stuff. And he told all these people Michael Jordan's God in a basketball game. That's one of the best players ever. You think he's talking about some basketball stuff? Or is he talking about where does this individual's mind go for him to create these things that he's doing on a basketball court? It wasn't because he was a black guy. It was because of what he did. So activity plays a big part. But if the activity is not going towards your nation, then, you know, you don't get it. Trigger warning. This gets emotional fast. Black guys are always going to go with emotion because they don't know themselves. They're not going to go with the fact. Like the Asian brought up a fact. They brought up a fact that if there were no black people, there's no hip-hop music. Wrap your head around that one for all the hip-hop people. All you had was Eminem and that's it. That's it. You know how boring that would be? Matter of fact, majority of you people, if music has the influence that it has or whatever, all these people would already kill their mom or whatever like that. Sniff 800 lines and all that BS that he was talking about. They get 50 strands of meth and all that. So that's influence. Imagine that's all you had. What Eminem says. That's all. You'll be messed up. You know, and that's on some basic level when he's a hip hop. That's some basic level. What did black people do? What are we gonna miss if there's no black people? Hip hop, that's it. Now, when you take away all the BS and you deal with it how it's supposed to be dealt with, what would the world be like without Moors? Wrap your head around that shit. Where would this world be if there were no Moors? Because remember, if you go to black stuff, you're only dealing with the music and sports and all this, all the crap. You're not dealing with civilization. Athletics is definitely part of civilization. We're not talking these minuscule levels where these people don't have their own league yet. They got gazillions, but they rather go sit front row at somebody else's league and then say that they're doing for their community because they took 2% and donated it to, even though it's a tax write-off and they're going to get it back anyways, and talk about they're philanthropists. If Gaddafi himself could say, I can pay all of Africa's debt, then all these Negro, black, colored, whoever's who have finance, they could definitely have their own league, their own everything. But it's never going to happen. Why? Because they're black. And we say that they honor the Moors. You have to put this one out there too. Get this one out there. Remember we told you, everybody knows who the Moors are? Right. So here's the Canada Post, colonists, post office guys have the stamp set for Salome Bay. They don't know who the Moors are? They're putting you on stamps as, oh, let's just put it on the record what this stamp is for and all this so people get. Salome Bay, 1933 to 2020. Earned the moniker Canada's First Lady of the Blues from her popularity on the jazz club circuit in Toronto, where she moved in 1964. She subsequently released 5 albums and earned 2 Dora Mover Moore Awards for Indigo, her musical review celebrating the history of black music. A member of the Canadian charity Artists Against Racism, she was a powerful champion and inspired for young black artists. She received the Dr. Martin Luther King Achievement Award from Montreal's Black Theatre Workshop and was named an honorary member of the Order of Canada. Look them up. Salome Bay, 1933-2020. Canada Post. So if they're going to rep for the Moors, because there ain't no Bay is Moorish, don't be dumb and play stupid. The Queen, the Lady of the Blues, the Goddess of the Blues, is a Bay out here? Oh, you still think, oh, okay. Keep thinking we don't know what we're talking about. Keep thinking we don't know what we're talking about. You play all these little games that you want to play. You play all these games that you want to play. Moore's Order of the Round Table. Who are the Moorish Americans? Moors defined. Civic lesson number 1. Keep letting these people play games with you. The hardened position of the Grand Protectors of the Christian Creed, KKK, is not necessarily personal, but national, and for the social, economic, and political maintenance and survival of the Roman Empire seated in the West. The Grand Protectors are knighted to preserve the albino strain and Christendom's iron-handed grip on the conquering Moabite Moorish lands. This is why clanners have always threatened to neutralize or kill some of their own, who through any power of political manipulation do anything which would or could cause or establish any true or permanent political or social improvement relative to the Negroes, enslaved Moors. So the black agenda, the keep you black agenda is a fiction. Clanners have always threatened to neutralize or kill some of their own. And the perfect individual we could say is Latif, who we don't care whatever. We already know what's up. Latif Bey, we already know what's up. We already know honors to that modern European right there, Latif Bey, who we know he's a Bey because he's a subject of the Moorish Empire. So he's going to pretend to be a Moor, including taking the name, but he knows that's not his birthright. He has a nationality. He's not usurper, colonist, and all that. He's an abolitionist. He's these same people that they're talking about right now. And any other European talking in favor of the Moors and talking in favor of Noble Drew Ali and studying Noble Drew Ali and maybe even went and got a fez and don't have it marked and all that stuff. But you know what your nationality is. And you know that it's not Moorish. And you know that you're pretending to be a Bey because you're in the Moroccan Empire. And what else are you going to be other than a Moor or a pretender Moor, aka citizen? Because you're obviously not going to be citizen of Walmart if you're European. And you know that you have a nationality and that you're not European, you got a nationality. You go in the wallet, you're going to pull out grandma's picture and all that stuff. And then she's sitting on the beach in Portugal. So you already know. These people have an agenda to neutralize and get out of circulation, JFK, their own, who are standing for the enforcement of something having to do with the Moors, the Constitution. The whole point is to get you out of your status as Moors and have you Negro, black, colored, and anything else that they want to make up and call you. That's their motive. But remember that the European isn't really your enemy. They're more your creation. And just like everything that's created, you know, they have certain tendencies. Some of them just be themselves. And some of them realizes that being themselves is gonna cause humanity to fall over. So let me go over here and get some knowledge from these dark-skinned people over here because they seem to have everything going on. They're not living in barns and all that stuff. Their rivers aren't filled with feces and urine because we don't know what to do with that stuff. So we just throw it in the river that we're going to drink tomorrow or whatever like that. Let's go over there and see what they're doing because it looks like they have something. And there's Europeans who are mad. There's modern Europeans who are mad at other Europeans who know who the Moors are. And then they're telling these people, hey, you're not black, you're a Moor. You're not Negro, black, colored. Europeans doing this. Like these Moors with their going to go retrieve the info, go retrieve the astrological info. And Europeans that have astrological school, whatever. You know, Moorish, one of those. There's European one though. These Moors go in and get it in on their own stuff. Because there's ones on their side who are doing more. Than ones who are on this side that should be doing 500 million times more than what this European is doing for the Moors. It was a modern European. It was a modern European who put down a $5,000 donation because he sold his house. And he came to the temple and he learned so much from the temple. He learned so much just from coming to classes that when he sold his house, he gave the temple $5,000. Modern European. Didn't even want anything back or anything like that. Didn't want no receipt or none of that. This is for you because I see what you're doing. And what you're talking about as a European, I actually implemented some of that stuff and then I sold my house. Right? Lawyers trying to steal the house. Have it locked up for years. So there's ones on their side. Rick Smith. Rick Smith is one of those modern Europeans. But they already know that he's on the spiritual side of it. So they can't do nothing to him like that. Opposed to somebody like William Cooper, who wasn't on the spiritual side, just on the info side, you know, national, no divine. So they were able to get to him. That European that was putting out info, exposing everything. They got rid of him. Right? Even with Latif, when they kidnapped him, had him in the madhouse and all that stuff, tried to get him out of circulation. Like literally tried to get him out of circulation. And because we know that this modern European, this white devil or whatever like that, blonde hair, blue eyes in the caves of Europe or whatever like that, he actually honors Noble Drew Ali more than Moors honor Noble Drew Ali. The hell are we going to let him get kidnapped if all it takes is a phone call or whatever? Because they're playing, they don't recognize him. Oh, well, yeah, we recognize him. We know who he is. That's Latif Bey. Well, I don't know what name you got, but we heard that you guys got him in there. Next day, put him in a cab and sent him home. Because Moors. Then all them were modern Europeans who were dealing with at the madhouse. Oh, you mean whatever the straw name? No, you mean Latif. You know, we already know what you people are trying to do. Stop playing games. Next day, released. Modern European. But then we filed suits or whatever like that. Black judge on the rise of the Moorish thing, on the Moorish militia suits, Ayanga-based suits, black guys, sheriff or whatever like that, emailing them. No response, nothing. Nothing. We call these colonists and they let a European go. And they hold Moors. What are they telling you? They're letting you know. They're not playing games with Moors. Because that's the real public enemy number one. Moorish nationality. Public enemy is not fear of a black planet, it's fear of a Moorish planet. Because their job is get rid of you. Their job's been get rid of you. Their job's been get rid of you. Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood founder, in her own words, birth control must lead ultimately to a cleaner race. Huh? What do you mean a cleaner race? Somebody doesn't like you. Margaret Sanger, Women, Morality, and Birth Control, New York Publishing Company, 1922, page 12. We should hire 3 or 4 colored ministers, preferably with social service backgrounds and with engaging personalities. The most successful educational approach to the Negro is through a religious appeal. We don't want the word to get out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it occurs in any of their more rebellious members. What are you talking about? Talking about the same traitors that we're talking about. They're saying colored ministers. We're saying anybody who's telling you that you're not Moors and calling you black. Those are the agents sent. Anyone playing that black game with you? We're not talking about a guy on the street or whatever like that. We're talking about prominent people. Margaret Sanger. These level people. We're talking about the dumb niggers. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the people who have say in what's happening to the dumb niggers. And what they decided, these modern Europeans who are on the other side now, we're not talking about the Latifs and the Rick Smiths and the Peter Moons and those Europeans right now. We're talking about them. We're talking about the Europeans who want to keep the dumb down going on. In order for them to control the Negro population and ultimately exterminate them, they're going to have to use their own. The Negro's own is going to have to be used to take out the Negro because they can't do it on their own. On the note of these sellouts, we gotta put this one out because
I mean,
you gotta put this one out.
These young men are beautiful.
You gotta put that out. You gotta get this one out there.
This is the letter to Obama. This is the letter to the police forces. This is the letter to the Bar Association. This is the letter to all your priests, all your marching rabbis, all these imams, and they were commanded to give this information to the people. That's why they're attacking Taji Guy. Because when I expose this information, it exposes them for their fucking sellouts. Ooh, damn, God. That's documented. Now, argue that. Top Vatican Crown Empire. This is the letter to Obama. This is the letter to the police forces. This is the letter to the Bar Association. This is the letter to all your priests, all your marching rabbis, all these imams, and they were commanded to give this information to the people. That's why they're attacking Taji Guy. Because when I expose this information, it exposes them for their fucking sellouts.
He snapped. He snapped that up. You got the wiser one for that one. You got the wiser one. You got the wiser one for that one. You got all your stuff back. You got all your stuff back right now. You got all your honors back. You got all your honors back. That's why they're mad at Taji guy. That's why they're mad. That's why they're mad at Taji guy. Right? That's why they're mad. Because even he's fed up with the BS. These traitors. One for the road. Undefeated.
Vatican Crown Empire. This is the letter to Obama. This is the letter to the police forces. This is the letter to the Bar Association. This is the letter to all your priests, all your marching rabbis, all these imams, and they were commanded to give this information to the people. That's why they're attacking Taji Guy. Because when I expose this information, it exposes them because they're fucking sellouts. Ooh, damn, God, what is
That's this is why he's mad. This is why he's mad. This is why he's mad. Right? This is why. All these years, telling you dumbasses, all these years, these people sold you out. You don't want to hear what they're saying. Now you're getting cussed out by the elder. Right? There are 12 major minority organizations, and all are familiar to the 22 million Negroes. Dossiers have been compiled on the leaders of the organizations and can be studied in Washington. The material contained in many of the dossiers and our threat to reveal that material has considerably held in check some of the leaders. Leaders who do not have such usable material in their dossiers have been approached to take government posts, mostly as ambassadors and primarily in African countries. The promise of these positions also has materially contributed to a temporary slowdown of minority activities. However, we do not expect these slowdowns to be of long duration because there are always new and dissident elements joining these organizations with the potential power to replace the old leaders. All organizations and their leaders are under 24-hour surveillance. The organizations are the Black Muslims, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, Congress of Racial Equality, Uru Movement, Group on Advanced Leadership, Freedom Now Party, United Black Nationalists of America, the New Pan-African Movement, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the National Urban League, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, Committee on Racial and Religious Progress. Note, at the appropriate time to be designated by the President, the leaders of some of these organizations are to be detained. Only when it is clear they cannot prevent the emergency, which is all the people waking up realizing that, oh my God, we've been played by our own, and then starting to adopt what Noble Drew Ali said immediately. In every facet of their life, you better adopt something immediately. That's the emergency that they're worried about. Which is why there's, for example, the campaign on Taji Guy. Right? Yep, and like more said in the chat, There's 12 on this. You could probably have 30, 40 names added to this of these organizations under 24-hour surveillance up to now. You have a crazy list. And don't forget, Moorish Science Temple is going to be on there, but then, because that's supposed to be number one, then they say the black Muslims. They say the black Muslims, they're not talking about NOI and all that stuff. They're talking about the Moorish movement. They're talking about the Moorish Science Temple. They're talking about Noble Drew Ali and all that. That's the black Muslims. Black Muslims aren't the guys who are in their pocket like that. The black Muslims were Moorish Science Temple, but if they put Moorish Science Temple, then that'll give away the whole game. That's the foundation of everything. Going back to the thing, what would the world be without black people? How about we be Moors and find out? I bet you it'd be quite fine if we don't have black people. Working with local police officials during the first critical hours, all other leaders are to be detained at once. Compiled lists of minority leaders have been readied at the National Data Computer Center. It is necessary to use the minority leaders designated by the president in much the same manner in which we use minority members who are agents with central and federal, and we cannot, until there is no alternative, reveal King Alfred in all of its aspects. Minority members of Congress will be unseated at once. This move is not without precedent in American history. Because they can go to all the cases to show all the Negroes who were claiming that they can't get touched or whatever like that. And their own slave masters touched them. Remember, the sellout on the plantation, he got the whip too. He might only got one lash though, instead of 20. But the house nigger knew his place too. They were in the house, but, stuff was a little easier. They at least got the scraps before the dog got it. Opposed to the field guy who's getting after the dog, that's the scraps they get left over. Attorney General, preliminary memo, Department of Defense. This memo is being submitted in lieu of a full report from the Joint Chiefs of Staff. That report is now in preparation. There will be many cities where the minority will be able to put into the street a superior number of people with a desperate and dangerous will. Oh, so if the minority will be able to put into the street a superior number of people, that means they're not a minority then, doesn't it? That means that they're not the minority then. If they can put into the street a superior number of people, then they're not the minority. Because superior number of people implies you have numbers. You're obviously not. It's not. So, it's two different contexts. Minority is the mind state of these idiots who don't know that they have a vast estate. Standing on it, he will be a formidable enemy, for he is bound to the continent by heritage and knows that political asylum will not be available to him in other countries because he's bound to the continent by heritage. Why would other countries give political asylum to Negroes? If you're bound if you're bound to Al-Kebalan by heritage, why do you think you're going to go to Ukraine and have some rights over there? You're not from there. You're a foreigner. Why would you have political asylum? Why don't you just go back home? Oh, because we're escaping the war of the whatever. Oh no, sorry. Doesn't work. We're only for our nation over here. But back across the Atlantic to where we're at. He will be a formidable enemy, for he is bound to the continent by heritage. Because the superior number of people with a desperate and dangerous will have a desperate and dangerous will because they've been under colonization. And they really have nothing to lose. The only problem is they're only killing their brothers and sisters instead of the enemy. Then they're going to go, oh yeah, Cujo called us out as traitors, so when we find him, we're going to kick his ass and all that stuff. But they ain't saying nothing to these European colonists who's in our land violating law and all that stuff. There ain't no slaps for them. We are bound to this continent by heritage, and we don't have political asylum anywhere else. So you better face inward. Because these people are going to have you on their plate. You can't blame anybody but yourself, because you can't say that the Moors never told you. 4,000 videos on YouTube. You think we never told you? What's up? But we know it's only going to be a handful saved with fingers left over. So we're not concerned about some superior number of people, because all the superior number of people are Negro, black, colored. They're going to get caught up in, oh my gosh, we're passing the Nike store during the revolution, or the new J's just came out, and they want to go loot stores during the revolution. Yeah, you get why we lose all the time? Making sense to you? But still not? Still not? Okay, let's go back to civic lesson number 1. Oh, yeah. Might as well get you one more time. So remember all the organizations or whatever like that, right? All the organizations that are under 24-hour surveillance, and the leaders are agents for central and federal and all that stuff, right? Remember all that. Keep all that in mind.
American Crown Empire. This is the letter to Obama. This is the letter to the police forces. This is the letter to the Bar Association. This is the letter to all your priests, all your marching rabbis, all these imams, and they were commanded to give this information to the people. That's why they're attacking Taji Guy. Because when I expose this information, it exposes them, because they're fucking sellouts. Ooh, damn, God, what is it? That's documented. Now, argue that. Taj is...
That's why he's the best. That's why he's the best. That's why he's the best. I don't care what any of you people say. I don't care what any of you say. Right? A slave capable of true possession of wealth and sovereign knowledge can bring about conditions that would change their legal status. Know absolutely that a tyrannical government's most feared category of knowledge exposure to slaves and wards is that of parentage and birthright sovereignty. Know absolutely This is the cussing you out, but in kind terms. This is the cussing you out in kind terms. Know absolutely that a tyrannical government's most feared category of knowledge exposure to slaves and wards is that of parentage and birthright sovereignty. If the above stated civic truth is clearly taught to slaves and wards, it would follow that many blacks who did not understand the cold-natured politics of the Europeans in the Americas would undoubtedly see and know why they, European colonists, have assassinated many of their own elected politicians, industrial leaders, and some of their Negro black agents who have a secret oath and benefit, betrayed their allegiance to them, their oath-bound agents, and were always aware that the Europeans stole the birthrights of the Moors and had branded the Moors as blacks. I know this is a lot. We'll go back again. We'll go back again because this is a lot. This is a lot. We know that it's hard for our people, but we don't care about how many people we get and all that stuff. All we're obligated to do is get one. That's all. Just get one. Wake up one and we'll be great. Wake up one and we'll be great. You get one to flick that switch in their brain that makes them stop for a few days, like, oh, and change their whole thing, change their whole everything, because this information hit them bat to the head, woke you out your sleep. Know absolutely that a tyrannical government's most feared category of knowledge exposure to slaves and wards is that of parentage and birthright sovereignty. If the above stated civic truth is clearly taught to slaves and wards, it would follow that many blacks who did not understand the cold-natured politics of the Europeans in the Americas would undoubtedly see and know why they, European colonists, have assassinated many of their own elected politicians, industrial leaders, and some of their black Negro agents, who have a secret oath and benefit, betrayed their allegiance to them. Their oath-bound agents, so those are like the spooks at the door, the ones who know the information, and then they put it out, and they weren't supposed to put that out. Why are you talking about that type of stuff? Losing tenures and all this. So they keep their mouth shut when they know the true information. They're very aware of the true information because half of them are Prince Hall and they were taught this information. All of them are Shriners and they were taught this information. They have fezzes at home in the secret, not going to tell their wife any of the secrets from the lodge. And then the fraternity guys, you'll talk to Steve Coakley, and Steve Coakley will tell you that the fraternity guys sell outside. Guys who thought the masonry was the European thing. So they're gonna go to some fraternity instead. And then they get stuck there instead of transitioning into masonry after the fraternity stuff. That all of them were being used. Remember the 12 organizations and all that stuff? That was everybody on the list in the 60s. That was everybody on the list in the 60s. They probably had 2 names missing. Remember, that's 60s. So if during the 60s, that many people were sold out and under surveillance, 12 organizations among our people were under constant surveillance. Keep tabs on what the Negroes are doing and be aware that there's going to be Fred Hamptons and these type of people. And we got to neutralize them before they get all these people riled up. If the above stated civic truth is clearly taught to slaves and wards, it would follow that many blacks who did not understand the cold-natured politics of the Europeans in the Americas would undoubtedly see and know why they, European colonists, have assassinated many of their own elected politicians, industrial leaders, and some of their black Negro agents who have a secret oath and benefit betrayed their allegiance to them. Their oath-bound agents are and were always aware that the Europeans stole the birthrights of the Moabite Moors and had branded the Moors as blacks. You know exactly what they did. They know exactly what they were doing. We're talking about the sellouts and the traitors. They knew exactly what they were doing. Who are the Moorish Americans? A few actual facts for Moors, a people in adversity. A few actual facts for Moors, a people in adversity. 1. Negro and black are synonymous. They mean exactly the same thing. Black is derived from the English Latin, and Negro is derived from the Latin. Black means civiliter mortus, unconscious, debased social and moral condition, and death. Black means civiliter mortus, comma, unconsciousness, comma, debased social and moral condition and death, period. Five, the commonly used word black, as applied to Moors, is a political caste label and not a national pedigree name. The colonizing Dutch masters coined the black label along with other adjectives as appellations for their indentured Moors, as void of rights chattel property. Blacks are categorized in government circles and amongst sensitive social engineering policy documents as it. You can't claim to be it, but be complaining. You can't claim to be it, but they're complaining. Well, you want to know about lesson books? You have to go talk to the author of the lesson books. Then I have to talk to the author of the lesson books. Don't get cussed out. Don't get cussed out. 7. The word Negro as an appellation to people is a political caste status category. It was coined and designed to label displaced Moors, who by virtue of war, subjugation, or mutual agreement became the corporate chattel property of the Union States' European citizens and not citizens themselves. Their U.S. of A. Constitution of the 6 European nations of North America supports this fact. Their U.S. of A. Constitution of the 6 European nations of North America. More study that's yours? Your constitution and all that. Are these traitors trying to keep you chattel property? You got Moors who brought you constitution and they're still in the mindset of make you follow some European stuff. When that's not yours, that's the 6 European nations constitution. You have your own already, brought to you by your prophet, brought to you by your free 160-degree Moorish master mason. Everybody brought you your stuff. You want theirs. You want to go play with some Europeans. Their U.S. of A. Constitution of the 6 European nations of North America supports this fact. Moors must stop trying to force themselves upon the members of the Union of the State Society. Moors must also cease the active fraud of using the Albion European colonists' family names. 8. As Negroes and blacks, synonyms, Moors have no rights at law that any quote-unquote white man needs to or is obligated to honor or respect. Negro and black, etc., are false appellations. Moor, M-U-U-R, M-O-O-R, is the true national pedigree of the subjugated people misrepresented as black and has standing at law, nationally and internationally. The persistent and insistence of the USA of the black and Negro brand legally imply acquiescence at law. Negro is not of the human family, but it is legally categorized as it or a thing and has no human rights to review or protect by any constitution. This is absolutely legal and valid position of the KKK and the Union State Society. Moors need to learn the truth about the danger of holding on to, substituting, and using the fraudulent slave labels as identities. A most troubling and effective, 9. A most troubling and effective political manipulation tactic has been used against the subjugated Moors in the Americas. That tactic is the placement of quote-unquote blacks and Negroes in token political positions with pseudo-government powers, which are designated to trick, oppress, tax, and maintain suppression among their own peoples. These range in the areas of municipal police operating in a non-sovereign capacity, judges and politicians operating in a non-sovereign capacity, and the sub-government agencies and agents, all with no true sovereign authority derived from the people they govern. This gives the appearance of the existence of mutuality and agreed sovereign relinquishment of rule and authority from the Negroes, blacks, who are unqualified, having no self-authority, to the otherwise fake, fraudulent, usurpative, and de facto union of state, society, corporation, governments, and union citizenry. This color of law position is deceptively used to govern, steal, and claim jurisdiction over indigenous Moorish people's birthrights, sovereignty, affairs, and land. So like we say, we don't know. All we know, we got civic lesson 1 right here. We know that there's a few others out there in circulation. Anything else? Go talk to the author. That's all we know. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to all the mothers. And keep in mind, just make sure, do yourself a favor, and just keep in mind, we're doing our best to assist you, but you gotta do a little something for yourself. I want you to keep in mind.
Vatican Crown Empire. This is the letter to Obama. This is the letter to the police forces. This is the letter to the Bar Association. This is the letter to all your priests, all your marching rabbis, all these imams, and they were commanded to give this information to the people. That's why they're attacking Taji Guy. Because when I expose this information, it exposes them, because they're fucking sellouts.